supposed to be there. Remove it, then you begin to shout like what the FCT minister is doing in Abuja. Even though there are some commas in those activities, but he is trying to enforce the master plan, which means those property originally has been acquired by government and compensation has been paid to the communities. So they don't have any right to even complain.
Okay, there are some of these persons that have gotten this land. Let's say, of course, they are saying that ignorance is not an excuse.
Of course.
But is there no way governments can map out these areas? Let it be so pronounced that this area belongs to government, because you don't just leave a place for years and then people start encroaching on it. And then by the time they put their own money to say, okay, I've gotten a land, I own a house, I'm a landlord. You come tomorrow, demolish everything. I remember there was in Rivers State that it was even in court. No, this is not government land. No, this is government land. Trying to bring this one brought certificate of occupancy, and the government is like showing evidence that this belongs to. Do you get what I'm saying? So is there no way they can put something like, because you won't tell me that even if they demolish government's house, that edifice today, and then you call a reasonable, as a well-meaning Nigerian that is well-equipped to come and buy land from there, the person will ask you a question: are you sure that this place is yours?
Yes.
When did you buy this place?
Yes.
I know that this place belongs to it, okay? But in a situation we just live, like if you're going towards Awuda, you will see that there are so acres of land there, bush, nothing is happening. And then tomorrow when people start selling, you will come and tell me it's government's land. So why are they keeping it? Why is there no praise to show that this is government's own land? Today they're going to cry. They are protesting. Why? Because they're like, oh, this is our place. Some of them do not have certificates of occupancy, and majority of them do have. Apart from looking at the fact that you want to render us homeless, they are equally not even sure whether it's government or they don't know what is going on. Before you answer this question, let me tell you something. Build a house somewhere, and then some group of persons came and said they should stop work, that this place belongs to government. All right? They map out those houses, and people stop work. After 5 years, they now realize that it was a group of persons that used government's name in order to come and acquire those land, which wasn't for government. So this is what I'm talking about. Why are they no mapped?
Now, what I want to say is this: when you go to buy property, most of these people, especially the rural people, local people, the fraudulent ones, because when government acquires the land, they survey it and they place government beacons on those properties to show that those properties belongs to government. Now, most times, these fraudulent members of society will go there and unearth these beacons, remove them. Sometimes they will even remove them and move them inward. But they forgot that this land had already been gazetted. A friend of mine, the father-in-law, had a property on Mommy B Road. 6 plots of land, and when they went to check, after the man retired, they wanted to build, and they got there, discovered that people have built there and all those, and the man had a C of O.
Okay.
So we went to Ministry of Lands, Port Harcourt here, and they made the report to Surveyor General. Surveyor General sent somebody with us, and the person showed us the map of the land in their system, in their office, and the person went with the coordinates to Mombiru and geolocated the land. To geolocate it means you pick it based on the earth surface, because that's what the do. The document is supposed to give you the coordinate, and then geolocated the land, which means state master plan, or GRA plan, land was tagged to that old man. But some persons who had money have built on it. Now we went to court. And the gentleman that bought the land brought a lawyer who was coming to claim that the lawyer was trying to assert that the land, whether the man knows if the land was acquired by community or whether government has left the land. Government does not leave land if acquired, because government acquired those lands and distributed them to Rivers for land, collected money and issued them C of O for them to begin to develop through phase 4. You understand? Now, that is exactly what has happened there. Village people or community people, or unfortunately people whose communities have been urbanized, development, there is this fear they have. We are losing everything. Well, that is price to pay for development. Obiakbo, Port Harcourt, Eleme, all this Iche, local government area. Go and see what is happening in these local government areas. There is no traditional land again, because most of the property has been acquired by government for development purposes. And that's why I feel sorry for them most times where they block road to do occasion. I don't feel bad, because if it is my village that was impacted by development as Obiakbo and Port Harcourt and Eche and the rest of them, I won't have a place to dance masquerade. Definitely we'll dance on the road. When we're dancing on masquerade, we'll block the road. You understand? So these are the challenges of urbanization, and they should be able to bear with it. You've sold the land to government, it belongs to government now. Let go. Don't go and put on that. Those buying land, you must investigate that land. Not go and look. It's not a deed of conveyance. Land office. When you get to land office and say, look, somebody wants to sell this land in so and so area for me, look at the land document. They ask where this area, don't buy from here to government. On that side, buy.
But you have to pay for the
it's not free.
So went to that place at the end, they relate to you that is government's land. How do you?
No, once you want to buy, you don't just pay because it's all land. That's why you must investigate every land. And first of all, once somebody wants, they get a copy of the document, you should show interest.
Okay.
To look at it. This is where the land is. This is our not original. You can go with the photocopy to land's office to verify if this land has been acquired by government or not. If it's still a native land, traditional land. You understand? Okay. Then government, the officials there will not tell you, no, this land is free or this land belongs to government, because these criminals, land grabbers, are busy selling government land or even selling other land belonging to other individuals. And they will say to you and say to you, and they will run away. Then people will begin to fight, and they say, go to court. I've been in court for 7-8 years.
So why did they even get these documents? Is it that they sit down?
They fabricate it. It's not the business that they type document.
Oh.
You go there and they type it for you now. It's yes, 1,000 naira. You get a document typed.
So what is the fate of these people that will be rendered homeless?
Unfortunately, they have to pay the price of ignorance. Unfortunately, that's what they will do.
And you think the government shouldn't compensate them?
Why will government compensate? Will you compensate for stealing your property? No, let's look at it now. Sincerity. I stole from you. I say this thing I stole, I've been you say okay, 10,000. Go and drink beer. Go and eat and for stealing from me. I am compensating you. They should be prosecuted. Yes. Because when you catch a land grabber and you drag them to court, especially government land, those who will tell you who sold the land to them, and by the time you do that, it will serve as a deterrent. People won't do it. The reason why real estate is expensive in Nigeria is because Nigerian government has not been able to provide to provide any solution to the housing need of the country. We have over 40 million or more, almost 100 million housing deficit in the country. So who provides for it? Normally, government is supposed to provide mortgage facility, provide housing facility. So civil servants can buy and pay over time, like they used to do in the 70s and the 80s. We had estates like Ajip Estate, we have Eleke Housing Estate, we have so many estates. These estates were in the 70s. In the 80s, from the 1990s, there is no estate built by anybody. The ones that were built were hijacked by politicians. So this thing would have been better for everybody when some other person have taken the land to build to sell and make money for himself, and you send the children abroad and you go to police station. It's wrong.
All right, we hope that this will serve as a deterrent to others. For those of you that want to buy land or you're already in the process, you have to carry out investigation before you do anything to avoid, be careful. All right, the next story is on education. President Bola Tinubu has ordered an extension extensive census to be conducted in Nigeria's education sector to address the lack of authentic data. Because on gathering about schools from primary to tertiary level, conditions, facilities, proximity to each other, infrastructure. Is data will guide on state intervention, teachers training and development, as well as overall support for the education sector. It will also provide data on gender ratio, their specific learning needs, and who is in school or who has dropped out. Based on daily monitoring with yearby reporting, there will be a dedicated portal dashboard in the Federal Ministry of Education, Office of Governor, and local government chairpersons, which will host and disseminate this information for the federal government, state, and local government to monitor in real time. This new data track architecture will enable the government to track the progress of students, thus having a clear data-driven mechanism for intervention, especially concern out-of-school children, especially girls and those with specific learning disability, among others. The presidential spokesperson added, on the challenges of the out-of-school children education and training, the Federal Ministry of Education says it is already implementing the government's policy through the activities of 4 of its agencies, with about 2 million beneficiaries already recorded. Oh, that's a good one, I believe, because when I was reading, I saw you nodding your head, so this is a good one from Mr. President.
Yes.
But do you think this is something that will be carried out before 2027? Because we're talking about the whole Nigeria and not just one place, looking at the infrastructure, all the things that he has mentioned. What is the possibility that this is not going to hang somewhere?
Well, what they said was they want to have a dashboard, an online portal for to break down the 3 tiers of government from state, federal, state to the local government. Now, the truth is, it is achievable. This process can be achieved in less than 6 months if they want to do it. Now, basically, Nigeria is bereaved of data. The biggest problem we have as a country is that we lack data. So when government wants to do development, there is no data to show the need and to show the areas of needs. Because in data gathering, we also do what we call needs and what do we really need in this area. Now, the federal government is about to do is to carry out a robust baseline study on the educational sector to know where there are schools, where there are no schools, and the reasons for not having a school in particular environment. It should be captured in those data. Then the number of students, children, and also, and when I read this, they're talking about tertiary institution.
Dr. Damigo,
yeah,
you send your child, you know that the first thing you have to do is pay the tuition fee.
Sure.
You also know that you have to provide a conducive environment for your daughter to stay.
Yes.
And then every other thing is secondary, which it will come to you and lay it down.
Yeah.
And Mr. President has brought out this, they should get a dashboard for an authentic data. And as we speak, there are so many communities without school. Do you need data to know that they need school in this community? Wait, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Do you need data to know that in this particular place, the learning environment is not conducive? Do you need data to know that? Aside, okay, what about you seeing on the streets, not in the school?
Yes.
Are people singing daily that this school is dilapidated? This other place is not conducive.
Yes.
Do you need data to do the necessary things first? Because, like you said, they can do this in 6 months. But of course, we are in Nigeria. Yes, we are hopeful that might happen. But that's why I'm asking, do you really need data to do all of this?
First and foremost, you need data. You cannot carry out proper development without data. Now, how do I mean? If you look at what you just said, let's say this community A, doesn't have a school. Community B has a school, Community C doesn't have a school. Now we're looking at proximity between A and B to see where there is a school. What is the distance? Must we allow children to walk that direction? Those are data, relevant data. So if we consider those things, we put them together in development analysis. When you bring those things, we look at them. Community A has a school, Community B has a school. Do we need to have 2 schools? Now, in community, how many children do we have in the community that need to go to the school? How many teachers do we need? That the data we're talking about. Community A and B are so good. Do we need to build 2 schools? We don't need 2 schools. We need 1 to service. When we build 2 schools, we are building more than enough infrastructures because we don't have enough men to man them. Unfortunately, that's what Governor Rotimi Amici did. Build schools all over River State. Some of those schools are taken over by weeds. I speak to you because there was no proper data tell us where those schools are supposed to be. Secondly, they did not do a proper needs analysis in communities whether they need this school here or not. Now it is based on this. Now we can know how many children are out of school in those communities. When we don't know the number of children out of school, how do we provide facility or infrastructure? So you see, data is relevant. Data is relevant for development.
Okay, we have just heard that from Mr. That data is relevant. But again, for the present situation, because yesterday we saw that about 200 and I think 201 children are out of school. Yeah. Okay, so would they have to wait for this data to come before they fix them in there? Do something about
from the National Bureau of Statistics, we got this information. That means we've gotten that these are the number of students, number of children that are out of school.
That is what I'm saying.
So
now,
they
have to wait for all of this?
No. Already there is data to show that this number of students are out of school. But the question we should ask is where and why are they out of school? You understand? Some people are out of school for religious reasons. Unfortunately, that these children are Almajiris. Is religion. They have to go and understudy a malam. And part of it is to go and beg. Which I don't know why it should be like that in the 21st century. President Jonathan built Almajiri schools on the street. Then secondly, you're talking about out of school children. There are parents that send their children to go and sell hawk on the street. These are things that make up the out of school children. There are parents that also package their children and send them out as a domestic help. They add to the out of school children because those children should be in school, but they are domestic help. So now what government should do to curb it, apart from building facilities and empowering the schools with teachers and also, is also to enforce the law, the Child Right Act, to ensure that a child that is not in school when he's supposed to be in school will prosecute the parents.
Oh, all right, we are coming to that.
Or their caregivers who arrest that child, and the child will lead us to where he's living. Will arrest the parent. How can you send a child that is supposed to be in school to go and sell a camel?
That is a question. That
you say you're poor.
Your answer.
No, you are not that poor. By 9, 8 o'clock, the child should have been. Yes, I sold things. I hawked as a child, but we come back to go to school. Even when our parents didn't have anything to do to support school.
Well, the president is ready to tackle all of those issues. This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. We'll just return after the short break. Do stay with us.
Expert discussions on trending stories, in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
You see, concern me.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us to Society, watching Atlantic Television Network, remember you can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. And now to the rest of our stories. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, 31.75 million children in Nigeria, which accounts for 52.5 children, were involved in child labor in 2022. The 2022 survey report titled Child Labor in Nigeria at a Glance, released yesterday, also shows that 24.67 million or 39.6% of children are in child labor during the review period. The NBS further noted that out of the 39.6%, 22.9% of over 14 million children are in hazardous work. On working hours, NBS said average weekly of children 5 to 7 years old in labor by age group, sex in the 5-17 age group, children in child labor spend an average of 14.6 hours per day working. Older children in child labor spend an average more time per week at work than younger children. Children aged 15 to 17 years old in child labor spend an average of 24.6 hours per week working, compared to 10.44 hours for children aged 12 to 14 years old and 9.8 hours for children aged 5 to 11 years old. Children in child labor who live in rural areas spend 2.3 more working hours on average than children in child labor who lives in the urban areas. Boys in child labor spend more working time per week on average than girls in a child labor. However, it should be noted that those estimates do not include time spent performing household chores of individuals in formal labor in their current job. The most common form of coercion is withholding of wages or benefits, which was experienced by 32.5% of individuals, the report added. Dr. Damigo, this is too much.
Well, it surely shows the illness of the average Nigerian. Heartlessness, I repeat myself, of the average Nigerian. Because child labor before now was not as any bad. But we had conscience as people. Once a child stays in your house and overworks, they allow the child to go and rest or go and sleep. Apart from the wicked ones who want the child to walk until like a donkey, until the child collapses or dies. But the biggest challenge we have is lack of responsibility by the average Nigerians, because here we think that it's not my business. It's not my business. That's what they always say. It's not my business. It no concern in my house. But that child will die. To arrest whoever owns that block industry, first of all, because that violates the Child Right Act.
Okay.
Because that child should be in school. That child can develop, some form of illness that will run for the rest of his life. What if he has spinal cord injury while he was struggling with that, almost more than his weight, his body weight? Who cares for him in future? Because he will become a liability to the society in future. These are things that child labor causes. Children have been exposed to sexual violence by virtue of carrying out all these menial or wicked activities in the name of work, and nobody cares. Where some children have been raped by gangsters in some environments, 13 years being pregnant, and they say, hey, don't they waka follow man? No, they were raped because you expose them to go and sell in some environment. See, it is not poverty.
Most of the community leaders come together to be able to curb this, because we have seen most of these children in shops serving when school is ongoing. The majority of them are 12 years, like the statistic just stated here. What can we do? Because we are the government, of course. When we say what should the government do, what should the federal government do, it has to start from the community. Because if you're saying let it start from the family, which is the smallest unit, there will be like the hardship is too much. There is no food. We cannot feed our children. So we decided to send them out there for someone to feed them, for them to labor to someone in order to be able to survive, for survival. So what can we do?
Now the CSOs, the NGOs, the FBOs, and the communities have a lot to do here. Because what we need to do is advocacy. In the past, was not seen as anything wrong. But the boy that they were doing in the past were not babies, boy. The children that were above 15, most of them, some of them were above 12. So go and live with my brother in Aba and learn work and help them. So those children goes to Aba, live with their uncle, and now the uncle take them to the shop. They sit in the shop. After 5 years, by the time that child turns 18, 19, 20, the uncle now say, okay, you have learned a lot. Take the other shop, take 5,000 and start your own business, and they will settle them. That's what was happening then. But today, there are agencies and agents that specialize in going to, in fact, one of my friends, they go to the north and bring house girls, cook, mop, go to the store, go to the market, go and sell, and it's wickedness.
I keep asking them, I across one of them that said, I've stayed with this woman for over, at least she, by age, so I've stayed with this woman for over 3 years. What do? They pay me monthly. You don't go out, you don't associate, even like you don't associate, you don't go anywhere. You're only to stay in the house mornings. You can go to markets and then you return. What are you saving the money to? What are you planning to live now? She said, no, I love work because I'm getting money. You need to associate what to do with money.
Yes.
You need to go out to see opportunities to invest in. Then what are you doing? Is it not wasting of time, money, resources, energy? What's your life?
That person, number one, the person lacks understanding. Number two, the small stipends they are giving to him or her is giving us some level of succor and the conversation. Secondly, we must also know how is she being treated in the house that she lives. If you take care of the person and the person is a member of the family, you won't even think of going anywhere. You understand? And secondly, I believe that the person just stays in the house. Because you cannot just stay in the house and want to stay. The person has been given some rights and privileges that ordinarily house guest, so the person feel among as member of the family. So leaving that place becomes a difficult task. I've seen families that you won't even know that this person is a housemate. You understand? But I have a friend whose house help I just admitted in university.
That is beautiful.
This house help, she took the house help, took her to driving school. She learned how to drive, got her driver's license. There's a car in the house. So when there's nobody in the house help goes to school to drive them back.
That one is a family member.
You see now, it's what I'm saying now. Now that person, you can't tell her to go.
No,
She won't even think of going because she's in the Ignacio University.
It's not said, if you must hire anyone, if you must employ a domestic worker, especially minor, you must make sure that the person in question go to the school your children are going.
Yes.
Yes. Treat them the way you treat your children.
Yes.
That one is beautiful. You can even call them your parents. Because what you need is education, you need a good life, and they are giving it to you. Yeah. But in a situation that your children are in school, and then the
house help is the house, that is a problem.
Or better still, in the shop.
That's a problem.
That's what we're talking
because about. That one, when your children come back to children,
exactly.
What will your children teach him or teach her? Nothing. She will still be the one to influence them negatively.
And to prepare them to go to school.
And prepare them for school tomorrow.
So, if you know that you can take care of another person's child in the name of domestic worker, I think you shouldn't employ them. You must do accordingly. Treat them right. According to Dr. Weke, all the children, they are children.
Sure.
So we have to consciously take care of them. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's look at the next story for today. And the last story for today. Parent or guidance present by us. Any computer. This is from the Best Test Center during the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Education, starting on Friday, will be arrested, which is today. I'm sure they are not there. The order to get such people arrested was given by the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, Professor Isaac Olayede. During a virtual meeting he had with operators and owners of the CBT centers on Wednesday. In a statement by the spokesman of JAM, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, the step is to prevent some parents from intruding into the conduct of the exams. The measures is necessary as it has been discovered that over time many of these intruding parents are facilitators of examination infractions, while others have, by their action, disrupted the board examinations in the past. Some miscreants also disguise as parents to inflict the centers to perpetrate all forms of infractions, the statement read. Also, security agencies have to work with CBT owners to ensure the smooth running of exercise. Going by the extant national policy on education, a candidate for the examination must have attained the age of 17 years. Therefore, it is evidence that these parents have not allowed their words to pass through the classes as defined in the document. Hence, the determination to follow their word to the examination venue with the aim of compromising examination officials. I think this is not really about age here. All right, it's not really about age because I've seen a child that is up to 18. Of course, there are some of them that are so lucky with 17 years, some 17 years, of course, some 18. But the parents still follow this person everywhere. It depends on from the kind of background you come from, the family. But do you think, Jam, they actually took the right decision here, knowing that some of them come here to intrude in the examination and then causing a lot of distraction in the process of trying to help them?
Yes. In fact, JAM should bring all the forces they gather to each CBT center. I wrote JAM twice, or thrice or so. But most of those periods when I was in JAM, I was alone. And one of those days, I felt so bad. People came with their parents. I was like a motherless child in a kind of people with parents. Their parents are giving money to officials of JAMB and throwing papers. Me, I didn't have anybody to throw papers for me, so I was on my own. I was really getting angry, but there was nothing you can do. They are mad there, they are party there, who are you? So it is an evil that must be tracked. Examination malpractice has eaten deep into the fabric of the Nigerian system. In the 1980s, when I wrote common entrance and first school living certificate exam in Okrika, I had, for the first time in my life when I went for that exam, EXPO. I was asking them, what is EXPO? They say EXPO is when they come and throw paper for you in the exam hall to copy from. And from where I came from, we don't do that in my school. So we're like, it was strange to me, because my school was a small school in Okrika local government, in Okrika Oyibota, Eleme local government those days. So it was a small school. Since our school was so small, we could not sit for the exam. They had to merge just the bigger school in Ibaka. So those things were happening, and I was thinking that by now we would have eradicated them. Now we've gone to CBT, computer-based test, and parents are still coming. What are they coming to do? They should stay in their cars and allow children and press the system, but they will not.
Maybe they want to protect their children.
Not protect. They want to come and bribe. I teach in the university system.
Do you think they actually need the presence of their parents?
They don't need them.
Because remember that these children, none of them here is below 16. All right. So can't they give them money if really they want to bribe?
They don't need this. You know, most of our parents, unfortunately, are naive. They think their presence there will help the children to sail through. And most times they sail through because they pay these CBT center operators and they manipulate the system and the children get into the university. We see them in school. So a student that wrote WAEC and passed, and wrote JAMB and passed, cannot write his name. How did he get there? You understand? And they are recruiting them again this period. Millions will be sent into the school system to come and frustrate us. And they will come to be able to write their name. And we'll be praying and believing God that they will graduate. And graduation period, they will be running around. Their parents will still be coming. The parents are the problem of Nigeria. Your child has not, you send it to the best schools, and you know they are not doing well. You go to threaten the proprietors of the private schools, because you cannot threaten government teachers. You only send them to private school where you can threaten proprietors to pass them. So those ones will give you an award. They'll pass them, even help them write WAEC and NECO, and they'll go and they'll come for you. What? See, we need to take serious action. JAMB is wasting time. They show serious might and make sure we any parents seen around 100 meters from the JAMB center should arrest them. They should come and say, I did one writing the houses and allow the children go. If you love them too much, go to one what do you call it, business center stadium.
You know that some of these places are just so I know how many persons called me today to find out a particular location for JAMB. Okay. It means that some of those places are just so hidden. So the only thing that most of these parents are going to their children for the sake of for security purpose.
There is no CBT. That's why JAMB need to put security in CBT centers. Not just for parents, but for any other miscreant, because all these touts who want to come and run. You don't have admission to invest. You can't do anything. You're going to do JAMB mercenary. Are you okay? They are there. Unfortunately, when I was growing up, I used to be a mercenary.
Oh, you used to be?
I used to be. We'll go to exam centers and sit down and write, and people will come and copy. And one of the days I was writing mathematics in one JAMB and WAEC in one area. And people were behind me copying the nonsense. I cancel. They said, why you cancel that? I said, what is it now? In the 90s. So what is it? They said, that I would already send that to inside hall for our people to copy. I said, I make mistake. Imagine that kind of thing. Miscreants are the ones coming to carry it to go and distribute in the hall.
So that means parents, not just the parents, the mercenaries too.
Parents, mercenaries, all these people should be arrested.
For your luck, if it is not, they would have arrested you.
Yes, I escaped. But no, this is the truth. We just left secondary school, we were good. So we're excited to go and help our friends that were writing exam. Okay. So we couldn't go into the hall to write. They stopped. So we stayed outside to write or send to them, which was wrong. Which was wrong. But it's called that when we were writing, People that doesn't even know who are right, were copying from us, and they're staying into the hall. So there are a lot of miscreants hanging around exam centers, distributing wrong answers. And those, now we have gone to CBT. Those miscreants are still going there to do nonsense. They should arrest them.
All right, so for parents, I believe JAM is ongoing right now. So for those of you that made up mind, and I'm sure it's going to be one batches, to go and help your children in order for them to sail through, you have to be very careful because you're just going to be behind the bars. Thank you so much, Dr. Domingo.
Thank you very much.
It's beautiful having you on this set.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am Immaculata Irikana. If you miss out on all of the platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram, TikTok, Atlantic One, TV Net.